With wishes for a very happy new year, I, Aishwarya, welcome you all to this edition of Midday News on Sabha TV. Let us start the news bulletin with the top headlines. General Bipin Rawat takes charge as country's first Chief of Defence Staff. Says his focus is to integrate efforts of three services to work as team. Prime Minister Modi says institution of CDS carries responsibility of modernizing our military forces. ISRO announces India's third lunar mission. Cost-effective Chandrayaan-3's configuration to be similar to its predecessor. More than 25 space missions planned for 2020. Mobile SMS service restored in Jammu and Kashmir. Broadband internet services in government hospitals also resumes. 2019 saw 160 terrorists eliminated. Decline in the number of youths joining militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. North Korea threatens to resume nuclear and missile testing. After a 4-day gathering of party leaders in Pyongyang, leader Kim Jong-un also says country would soon introduce a new strategic weapon. And with fireworks and celebrations, people around the world welcome 2020. President, Vice President, Prime Minister extend best wishes to citizens. The top story this afternoon, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat has said that all the three services will work as a team. After taking charge as the country's first Chief of Defence Staff, General Rawat said that as per the task given to the CDS to enhance integration and to do better resource management will be a priority. General Rawat said that armed forces will be strengthened through synergy and integration. He said that CDS will be neutral to all three services. General Rawat said that the armed forces will stay away from politics and work as per the directives of the government of the day. General Rawat also said that his focus as CDS will be to integrate the efforts of the three services and to work as a team. Army Chief Manoj Mukund Narwane, Air Chief Marshal Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhadonia and Navy Chief Karambir Singh and other senior officers were present at the occasion.
जितनी मुझे जानकारी हासिल हो पाई है, चीफ ऑफ डिफेंस स्टाफ का जो टास्क कटआउट है वो है तीनों सर्विस को एकजुट होकर सक्षम बनाना और हम इसी तरफ कार्रवाई करते रहेंगे। मैं आपको ये यकीन दिलाना चाहूँगा कि इसमें आर्मी, नेवी, एयरफोर्स एक साथ टीम वर्क करते हुए कार्रवाई करेंगे। सीडीएस जो है उनके ऊपर नियंत्रण रखेगा, लेकिन कार्रवाई जो होगी वो टीम वर्क के जरिए होगी। ऐसे नहीं होगा कि अपने निर्देश के हिसाब से सीडीएस किसी फोर्स को चलाना चाहेगा। उसको जैसे बताया गया है इंटीग्रेशन की ज़रूरत है। उससे हमें क्या क्या हासिल हो सकता है, सबसे पहले तो हमें तीनों सर्विसेज जो हैं उसका 1+1+1 का जो जोड़ आता है उसको 3 नहीं बनाना है, उसको 5 या 7 बनाना है। तो यू हैव टू अचीव मोर थ्रू synergy and integration.
And earlier, General Bipin Rawat visited the National War Memorial in the national capital to pay tributes to the martyrs. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated General Bipin Rawat for his appointment as the country's first Chief of Defence Staff. In a Twitter message, Prime Minister Modi said that he is an outstanding officer who has served India with great zeal. The Prime Minister added that the creation of the Department of Military Affairs and institutionalization of the post of Chief of Defence Staff are momentous reforms. He added that the CDS is an institution which carries tremendous responsibilities of modernizing our military forces, and it reflects the aspirations of Indians. And earlier, a day after taking a charge as the Chief of the Indian Army, General Manoj Mukund Narwane today visited the National War Memorial in New Delhi to pay tributes to the martyrs. General Narwane saluted the Amar Jawan Jyoti, the eternal flame, and laid a wreath at the memorial. And early on Tuesday, in a stern warning to Pakistan, Army Chief General Narwane said that India reserves the right to preemptively strike at the sources of terror threat if the neighboring country does not stop state-sponsored terrorism. After taking over as the 28th Chief of the Army Staff, General Manoj Mukund Narwane said that his main focus will be to make the Indian Army ready to face any threat at any time. An Indian Space Research Organization or ISRO Chief K. Sivan today announced the third phase of India's mission to the moon, Chandrayaan-3, which will aim for a launch by 2021. He said that the government has approved the Chandrayaan-3 project. K. Sivan further said that Chandrayaan-3's configuration will be similar to that of its predecessor, the Chandrayaan-2. Now, this means that Chandrayaan-3 will also have a lander and a rover with a propulsion module. In a press conference, ISRO chief further said that all activities related to the third lunar mission are going on smoothly, and he added that the Chandrayaan-3 will not affect other satellite programs.
Chandrayaan-3 is the government has approved, and it is that the project is now formed. The activity is going on Chandrayaan-3 very smoothly. And Chandrayaan-3 configuration will be almost similar to Chandrayaan-2. Only thing is, in that Chandrayaan-2 we had orbiter, lander, rover configuration. Here this orbiter already functioned will be used. So Chandrayaan-2 will be having mostly a lander and rover and with a propulsion module. So this we are initiated this project, and work is going on very smoothly on Chandrayaan-3.
And apart from the Chandrayaan-3, ISRO Chief K. Sivan also mentioned that there will be more than 25 space missions this year, and he declared 2020 as the year of the Chandrayaan-3 and Gaganyaan.
We have good progress in 2019 Gaganyaan, and many of the designs were completed, and astronauts have the selection process is over. Now the 4 astronauts identified for training purpose, that process also completed. Now the training for these 4 astronauts will be planned in the third week of January of this year. That is Gaganyaan.
And Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Tuesday launched a mega infrastructure plan to boost growth. The National Infrastructure Pipeline, or NIP, comprises projects worth 1.5 trillion rupees to boost economic growth and help the country reach the $5 trillion target by 2024-25. The NIP has identified projects across 23 sectors and 18 states and union territories, which will be funded over the next 5 years by the central and state governments as well as the private sector. Sitharaman said that of the proposed projects, 39% each would be implemented by the centre and the states, and the rest 22% by private players. The NIP follows a commitment by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his Independence Day speech last year that more than $100 trillion rupees would be invested in infrastructure over the next 5 years.
The last 6 years on infrastructure by centre and by the states, a total of 51 lakh crores, that is about 5 to 6% of the GDP, has been spent on infrastructure. For the 100 lakh crore, 102 lakh crore worth compilation is what I'm giving you now. But in addition, a few more states are coming up with another 3 lakh crore worth of projects. So in all, I think we'll have about 105 lakh crore in total of projects for the 100 lakh crore commitment that we've made. Out of the total NIP of 102 lakh crores, which I've told you just as it stands today, 42.7 lakh crore, that is 43% worth of projects are under implementation. 32.7 lakh crore, which is about 33% worth of projects are at conceptualization stage, and 19.1 lakh crore, which is about 19% worth of projects are under development, which is the DPR is done, but construction is yet to start. So hence approximately about 63% of the projects of the pipeline is completely firmed up. We also intend to launch a NIP, the National Infrastructure Pipeline Coordination Mechanism, consisting of the center, the states, and also the private sector, so that they can get into detailed planning and also information dissemination together with monitoring the implementation of this entire NIP framework. This is the first time in this country you have a national infrastructure pipeline, which actually then makes the job of monitoring, linking with the developers and promoters all fairly well structured and easy up.
News from Jammu and Kashmir, where SMS services were restored on Tuesday midnight and broadband internet facility has also been restored in all the government hospitals as well as schools across Jammu and Kashmir. Mobile services, remember, were banned in Kashmir on 5th of August when the central government decided to abolish the special status of the state and divide it into 2 union territories. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir DGP Dilbagh Singh has said that since the removal of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, the incidence of terrorism has come down by 30%. He also informed that Jammu and Kashmir Police has conducted 80% successful operations, and in the year 2019, 160 terrorists have been eliminated from the valley. And during this time, infiltration cases have also decreased. And people across the globe welcome to New Year 2020 and bid farewell to 2019 with celebrations. The world ushered in the new year with spectacular fireworks across various parts like in India, Sydney, Tokyo, Paris, Dubai, among others. Talking first about India, as the clock struck 12 in the night, the chorus by the people, Happy New Year, reverberated all across. In Delhi, people thronged restaurants, malls and other public spaces to bid goodbye to 2019. And in Mumbai, thousands of people gathered at the beaches and restaurants to welcome 2020. New Year celebration events were held in beaches and locations of Goa as well. And in Chennai as well, thousands of people gathered in the iconic Marina Beach and other prominent public places to welcome the new year. People also thronged the temples and churches for special worships during the new year. And Dubai also heralded the new year in style with a dazzling display of fireworks at various locations, including at the iconic Burj Khalifa. And people visited the Kandamyeon shrine to offer New Year prayers in Tokyo. And fireworks also erupted over downtown Bangkok during the New Year celebrations. And New Zealanders were among the first to welcome 2020 with fireworks lighting up the night sky over Auckland. 10. And Australians also greeted the new year with a spectacular firework display over Sydney Harbour. And Indian Army jawans also protecting the borders celebrated the New Year, and also ITBP jawans celebrated New Year in Uttarakhand's Oli. They danced to the folk tunes with full enthusiasm and greeted each other. Similarly, Central Reserve Police Force jawans also celebrated New Year in Raipur in Chhattisgarh. And the President, the Prime Minister, as well as the Vice President have extended their greetings to the people on the New Year. In a message, President Ramnath Kovind said that I extend my greetings and my best wishes to all fellow Indians and the global community. He further said that the dawn of the New Year and the new decade is an occasion for people to commit themselves to making a society that is peaceful and caring and compassionate. And this is also a time to renew our commitment towards a stronger and more prosperous India. And Vice President Venkaiah Naidu said that the New Year is a time for new beginnings. He added that I convey my warm greetings and best wishes to all our citizens on the advent of the New Year 2020. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also tweeted this morning New Year wishes. Now, this is the Prime Minister's first New Year after he won a second term with a massive victory in the national election held in April-May last year. He tweeted, "Have a wonderful 2020. May this year be filled with joy and prosperity. May everyone be healthy and may everyone's aspirations be fulfilled." And early on Tuesday, he had also tweeted a montage that compiled the country's achievements in 2019 and what it hopes to achieve this year. And on the occasion of New Year, Secretary General of Rajya Sabha, Desh Deepak Verma, and patron of a club met the officers and staff of Rajya Sabha Secretariat in Parliament House today and congratulated them.
सबको नव वर्ष की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और ये उम्मीद करता हूं कि जैसे नए साल में आज धूप खिली है वैसे ही आपके जीवन में खुशियां खिलें, आप हर्षित रहें, प्रसन्नित रहें और अपने पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल कैरियर दोनों में आप नई नई ऊंचाइयां पाएं। अभी नए साल के उपलक्ष्य में इन लोगों ने ये कप्स दिए हुए हैं। मैं इस अवसर पर आप सबको नए साल की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। ये जो नया साल है ये लीप ईयर है, 4 से कटता है तो इट इज़ अ लीप ईयर एंड आई होप दैट ऑल ऑफ यू ऑल्सो प्रॉस्पर, grow in happiness by leaps and bounds during this year. Thank you.
And the year 2019 was a significant one for the upper house. Among other things, it was the best in terms of productivity for the Rajya Sabha. So let us take a look at some of the highlights and also milestones in the upper house in 2019.
Rajya Sabha ended the year 2019 on a high note, marking a break from the disruptions of the preceding years. The upper house passed 52 bills in 65 sittings in the course of the year. That came to an output of 0.8 bill per day or 4 bills in 5 days, which is the best in the last 36 years. 2019 was also the best year since M. Venkaiah Naidu assumed office of Chairman of Rajya Sabha in August 2017. Productivity in terms of legislative output was 0.7 bill per day during the year 2017. It came down to 0.28 bill per day during the year 2018. In 2019, the legislative output of Rajya Sabha increased almost 3 times from 2018. At the conclusion of the 250th session, the chairman noted that the 249th and the 250th sessions reported about 100% productivity.
Well, the last session recorded productivity of 104% by availing more than the available time for transacting the business. This session too clocked almost around 100% productivity. This is perhaps for the first time that this House recorded 100% productivity for 2 successive sessions. For me, this is a certain proof of this shift being studied, and all of you deserve credit for the same.
In 2019, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu introduced new norms to take up starred questions, zero hour and special mentions, due to which the highest ever number under these categories were taken up during the 250th session. The chairman also promoted the use of mother tongue in the upper house during 2019.
आज मेरे लिए एक ऐतिहासिक दिन है जो मैं संताली भाषा में पहली बार इस उच्च सदन में बोलने जा रही हूँ। उड़ीसा स्टेट में 62 टाइप के ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी रहते हैं। उनमें से संताली एक कम्युनिटी है। मैं उस कम्युनिटी से आती हूँ। संताली मेरी मातृभाषा है और ओलचिकी हमारी स्क्रिप्ट है। मंथन परसेद गोंके संताली परसी आड़ंगते रोड रेना दाव पे एम आका दिनते अड़ी अड़ी के सारहाव मलाई परसेद गोंके संताली सांतारिनी ओलचिकी सिरजन दाता पंडित रघुनाथ मुर्मू तिकिन भारत रत्न मनते मन व्यवहार केन लगे सरकार ट्रेनिंग नेहरेत किया
मनोतन मेंबर अमक गाग परसी संतारी तेरार लगित अमक सरा हो पहली बार उन्होंने संताली में बोला. Members, I would like to inform you that Santali has been spoken today for the first time on the floor of the Rajya Sabha. You would all
After a detailed analysis of attendance in the meetings of the department-related standing committees and house committees, Chairman Naidu met all the chairmen of the committees and emphasized the need to ensure higher attendance. Also, during the landmark 250th session of the Rajya Sabha, members deliberated on the role of Rajya Sabha in Indian polity and the way forward, during which the members made several suggestions that are being examined. In the last 67 years, since the inception of Rajya Sabha in 1952, the legislative productivity has been little over 1 bill a day in only 6 years, including in 1976, 1984, 1985, 1993, 2002 and 2003. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some international news now. US President Donald Trump says that he holds Tehran fully responsible for the protesters storming the US Embassy compound in Baghdad. This is not a warning, it is a threat. Happy New Year, Donald Trump wrote on Twitter on Tuesday evening. Remember, protesters stormed the US Embassy compound earlier on Tuesday after smashing a main door and setting fire to a reception area, prompting tear gas and sounds of gunfire. The US ambassador to Iraq and other staff were evacuated from the embassy. And the protests came after the US launched air attacks on sites in Iraq and Syria belonging to an Iran-based militia that Washington said was in retaliation for the killing of a US contractor on an Iraqi military base. And North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has said that he is ending the suspension of nuclear and long-range missile tests put in place during talks with the United States. Kim's statement came at the end of a 4-day gathering of party leaders in Pyongyang. Kim also said that his country would soon introduce a new strategic weapon. It is noteworthy that momentum of the past few years in nuclear diplomacy between North Korea and the US has stalled as Washington refuses to lift sanctions until Pyongyang fully abandons its nuclear program. The North Korea conducted several smaller weapons tests late in 2019 in what was seen as an attempt to pressure the US into making concessions. But the self-declared moratorium on nuclear tests and the tests of ballistic missiles that could reach the US mainland had been one of the foundations of the negotiations with the United States. And that is the wrap on this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching, and again, a very happy New Year.